Hi there. Welcome to Empowered Abundance. I'm Lori, and we have been going through a series of foundational principles to live a life fully alive. So if you are just jumping on this video and it's the first one, go back to the introduction and go through 1 through 5 because this is principle number 6. And there's no order of like number 1 isn't the best and number 2 isn't the next best. It's the entire foundation, right? So it's a collaboration of all of these foundations or all of these principles to create that solid foundation. But we need them all. So that's why I'm saying go back and listen. Okay, principle number 6, awareness versus judgment. I want to talk about what the difference is and why it matters. So, awareness is that person's fat and that person's skinny. Awareness. One person's bigger than another person. One person carries excess weight that this other person doesn't. How does then awareness become judgment? Well, by saying, oh, that girl is better because she's skinny, or that girl is worse because she's fat, or she's gross because she's fat, or on the flip side, that girl's too skinny, she needs a little meat on her bones. When we find wrongness with something, then that's judgment. But here's something really important that I want you guys to let sink in. If you are finding rightness as opposed to wrongness, that's judgment too. Does that make sense? A lot of people say things like, oh, well, positive thinking is good or right, and that's what we should do. But if you're doing it as opposed to negative thinking, then that's judgment, and judgment will always bound us up. But if we're functioning in a place of awareness, and awareness being, oh, I'm thinking negatively and that doesn't benefit my life. Nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't benefit my life. So I'd really rather be thinking positive right now, not because thinking negative is wrong, but because thinking positive is more beneficial for my life. And I know, you guys, this is a super slippery slope, and we have to really get this cognitively first. If we don't buy into it with our conscious mind, it's never going to seep into the embodiment of who we become. And you guys, I'm going to do probably later on after the principles, we're really going to talk about why do we judge and how do we not judge, and how does, where does that come from, and how do we shift those things in our life. I will go more in depth, but really I just want you to grasp, as long as you are finding wrongness with something, it's judgment, and it will bound you up from living fully alive. If you can go to a place where you're just in awareness, be aware, because if we're not aware, then we don't have choice, right? It's easy for us to go into a restaurant and say, oh, do I choose chicken or beef? Because we don't necessarily, well, unless you're a vegan or you're on a diet or something like that, we don't find wrongness with chicken or beef. If we're just eating normally and we say, oh, chicken or beef, we're not finding wrongness with it. So the choice is super easy, right? What do I feel like today? Oh, I feel like chicken. Okay, great, you get chicken, right? But the minute that we go, oh, it's wrong, I shouldn't have beef, but I really want beef, but beef is wrong. Do you see how now it bounds us, it binds us up, and it diminishes our ability to actually choose? And so really grasping, are you wanting something because you want that thing, or are you wanting it because you don't want the opposite of it? So really looking at those internal motives will help you decide, am I just being aware, which then gives me freedom? Or am I judging, which then binds me and keeps me from easily moving forward in choices in my life. Okay, so this is a big one, you guys. This is, again, it's a super slippery slope. So if you have any questions, if you have a comment, if you don't agree, tell me why. Let's talk about this, because it is a huge factor. Because if we shut down our awareness, now we've shut down choice, and choice is how we live free in this life. And freedom is in direct correlation with living fully alive. So please, this is a good one to have intense conversations on, because it's one of the big ones that most people will want to fight against, because it's pretty foreign, pretty deep. So yeah, feel free to make comments, questions, whatever. So that was principle number 6, and I will see you tomorrow with principle number 7. Have a great day, you guys.